Hey, welcome back, intermediate algebra students. So this Khan Academy is called Quadratic Formula, and I'm going to apologize in advance. This might be the longest video of the year. Few things we have to cover. First of all, the quadratic formula. What is the quadratic formula? And here's the deal. I'm going to expect everyone to memorize this. Okay, so I'm going to give it to you here. The quadratic formula is the opposite of your b term plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. What was that? Yeah, it's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. How in the world, Mr. Anderson, are we going to remember that? Well, here's the deal. I've got some for you. So here you go. Love me, hate me, I don't care. Here's a song that can maybe help you. Ready? Here we go. Listen up.
The quadratic formula's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
Isn't that a lovely song? Yeah, that's the quadratic formula. So let's sing along with that. Okay, everybody sing along. Get ready. Here we go. We're going to do it again.
The quadratic formula's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
So now here's what I've learned. I've learned that if you do something 21 times, you will memorize it or you will learn it. So you have a choice. We could do this 21 times, or you could learn it this third time right here. Okay, get ready. Here we go. One last time. Let's do it. Listen.
The quadratic formula's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
Okay, I expect that you all know that. The lovely song. The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And you never want me singing for you again, I bet. But if you memorize it now, we'll be good. All right, so what do we mean by all these a's, b's, and c's anyways? Well, first of all, you're given this quadratic equation right here, but you're going to notice this is not in standard form. So we need to first manipulate this to get it back into standard form. So that's the first thing I'm going to do right here. I'm going to put this in standard form with my highest exponent first, and my constant comes last, and of course we always want it to equal 0. From there, the numbers in front of the x squared is your a term, the number in front of your x term is your b term, and then your c term is your constant. So we can write that down as our a term is negative 10, our b term is negative 7, and our c term is 1. We're then going to plug that into this quadratic formula right here. We're going to plug in for the b, we're going to plug in for the a, we're going to plug in for the c's, and here's what that would look like. B goes in for the b, except remember it's the opposite of b, or negative b. What is the opposite of negative 7? You should say, oh, it's positive 7. Oh, I get where that came from. And then over here, it's your b term squared, so negative 7 squared, minus 4 times your a term, and our a term is negative 10, and I always put these in parentheses, times our c term, and in this case, c term is 1, all over 2 times a, and again, our a term is negative 10. So now we got to start doing some math. This one stays the same. That's pretty simple. However, here, what is the square, or what is negative 7 squared? Positive 49. Okay. What is negative 4 times negative 10? Positive 40. Positive 40 times 1 is positive 40. What is positive 49 plus positive 40? Hopefully you're going to tell me that that is 89, and you'd be correct. And then on the bottom, what is 2 times negative 10? Well, that's negative 20. Now, if you get to this point and you can see your answer up here, hey, letter A, you're done, and that's all you've got to do. But sometimes it's not so simple. So let's go through another one. Okay. So again, here's your quadratic formula. Here is our problem. And again, this is not in standard form. So we need to make it in standard form. First of all, it's got to equal 0. So let's move this one. And this has got to be our lead term. So we're going to rewrite this. We've got negative 9x squared. We've got a positive 3x because this is a positive 3x. And then we added 10 to both sides to get this side equal to 0. Okay. Now, from there, we know that our a term is negative 9, our b term is 3, and our c term is 10. A term, b term, c term. Okay. We're now going to plug that into our quadratic formula. Okay, so we've got the opposite of b right here. The opposite of 3 is -3, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 3 squared, minus 4 times our a term of -9 times our c term of 10, all over 2 times our a term. Okay, so let's do a little math. 3 squared is 9, positive 9. -4 times -9 is positive 36. Positive 36 times 10 is positive 360. 360 and positive 9 makes 369. 2 times -9 on the bottom makes -18. Pretty simple, correct? Hey, so let's find that answer. No, no, no. Shoot, it's not over here. If it's not there, you have more work to do. Do you remember doing in our previous 2 units ago when you were doing simplifying square roots? When you took a square root like this and you had to simplify it, you had to factor it out and get the common factors or all the prime factors. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. When you factor this one out, you get 3 times 123. Then you get 3 times 100 or 3 times 41. Hey, 41 is a prime number, but I had 2 3's there. So one of the 3's can come out as a real 3, and I got a 41 left over. So it turns out to be this. If you don't know how to get from here to here, then you're going to want to go back and rewatch simplifying square roots. But I'm going to assume you know how to get there by this point. Now, this answer, is this over here? No, no, no. Well, no, but hey, there's the square root of 41, but the rest of it doesn't match. I wonder how they got that. Well, here's what happens at this point. You will notice that this is a real number, -3. You will notice that this is another real number, 3, and this is a third real number, -18. All three of those real numbers have a number in common that we could divide them by. And what would that be? Yeah, you could divide them all by 3, couldn't you? Now, here's the deal. Because this 3 is connected to the square root of 41, we only simplify the number in front of the square root. We don't touch the 41, so the 41 will stay the same. But we will divide all 3 of these terms by 3. When we do that, we get -1 for the first term, plus or minus 1 times the square root of 41 all over -6. You'll notice how this is like almost identical to this, except I have a 1 in front of here. Well, guys, what is 1 times anything? It's that term itself, right? So the 1 times square root of 41 is just simply the square root of 41. We don't need this 1 in front of there. So your answer on this one would be letter D. Hopefully that explains it. We're up to about 8 minutes on the video. Sorry about that, but I'll see you in Google Hangouts. Bye-bye.